I've been keeping quite a watchful eye on this one, and now it's time to show you what it's all about. Hello again there, friends and fans. Raptor here, and welcome to our first look at a game by the name of Systemic War. Systemic War is a game that certainly is an indie game, rough around the edges, being made by a very small team from Warsaw, Poland, but has a lot of potential to be able to compete with what you may enjoy about, for example, the War Game series, or more recently, Broken Arrow. This might actually be the most modern RTS I've ever seen. There's actually drones in this one and a bunch of other things too, in some real world scenarios that are happening now, unfortunately. But Systemic War is a game that has a lot of interesting things that it does outside of the usual skirmish and campaign. There is actually a skirmish here for this demo, so if you'd like to download it, links down below in the description. But it does have a tutorial and then this kind of a slew of missions that revolve around playing as Poland so far. It does seem that there's an active and passive commander mode as well, which is a great way to be able to learn how to play a game like this. For example, there's a whole tutorial, but then of course the default RTS rules and then limited player decision making too, which does kind of provide a ton of content for free. Like, it's a free demo via Steam Next Fest, so I'll leave a link down below. You may have seen it recently too. They emailed me a while ago, and I finally have time to get around to it. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, now would be a great time to do that. Turn on that notification bell and hit that like button, because we got a lot of stuff to cover here. So basically, you can choose a starting year from 22 to 2018. It's briefing on what's going on. This is considered to be alternative history, although it very much has to do with kind of what's going on now. It kind of slews things one way or another. But of course, there will be multiple factions, including Poland, Ukraine, Russia, US, China, Turkey, and then more to come in the future. I don't know what it could be, but it could be anything from like Japan to who knows. I don't know, Canada or something like that. They can make a ton of different scenarios, but this would be amazing to see mod makers creating their own maps and their own scenarios, and doing so with a pretty big and growing library of vehicles. So Poland has a lot of stuff that you may recognize, of course, a mix of American, German, a little bit of everything, right? They're a NATO partner, and they have a ton of different stuff, and they've been buying a lot of stuff. So depending on when you start, I suppose also they'll have different things too, and maybe based on the mission, it'll go past 2022. That's basically where it begins. So again, if we select Poland, then it'll start ourselves a new game, and then we'll dive right in with our first peek at what's going on here. So yeah, we'll play those scenarios in just a moment, but I did want to show off the map to where they've got some pretty great details of Poland, with Warsaw here in the middle, and then Krakow and Katowice down here. Cities I've been to before. Poland's a beautiful, beautiful place. Ostrava, Prague, and whatnot. This could be locations for eventually German forces to enter if they add them to the game as well. So the Germans could add, I don't know, maybe in the scenarios could supply additional tanks or troops here down in Slovakia as well, on the border with Ukraine. So since it has Ukraine in here and Poland and a few others that are already planned, we'll have to see where they go. But maybe the Balkan states, where Broken Arrow takes place primarily, with the battles taking place around Kaliningrad here, and then also various states and cities around there. So it's a great direct comparison, honestly, because they're literally taking place like right next door to each other, and have current combatants that are featured in both games. Now, this also seems to be a grand strategy game, but it also is very much like a war game, and it's rather interesting. They have like animated portraits. What seems to be Walter White apparently somehow got into the Polish military. I guess that's what he did after paying a lot of money for cover. But yeah, so you can see all these different tank divisions here. So it plays like War Games turn-based map, which you may have seen before, and it allows you to kind of more dynamically make moves per turn, and then you play out those battles. Or of course, there's a straight up skirmish mode where you can just play missions that exist. So this demo is very, very detailed. So if this is just a demo and there's all this going on now, there's huge potential for this one to be a wonderful competitor to the War Game series, which kind of is now Warno. And of course, you may have seen more recently Warno dropped, as well as Broken Arrow, and another great one, which I must recommend, by the name of Regiments. So if you're in the, I don't know, the market to buy a bunch of new RTSs, if you haven't heard of Regiments or Warno, or even Steel Division, which is World War II, these are all great games that really go well with each other if you're just getting into like Broken Arrow. There's other stuff out there, and this is one of them. So anyway, yeah, so this is great. I'm not going to play through a whole scenario just yet. One, it's an unfinished game, so we could only maybe play a few turns, and then that'll be that, as it is just trying to show off the game. But what I wanted to get into was just one of the skirmish missions and just see how it plays out. Again, there's a ton of content here, so we'll get into it little by little. Let's go. All right, so I'm fresh from finishing the tutorial, and I want to get into, I'm just going to pick a random mission here, this one, the second one.
Raczki is a small town that lies near the Rospuda River. It is positioned along the main axis of movement through the Suwalki Gap. a strategic corridor of critical importance. The local terrain is favorable for mechanized engagements, particularly tanks. This is where we make a stand and where we break the enemy's momentum. Two rivers are passing through area of operations, Rospuda to the south and Szczeberka to the north. Within this battle space, there are two bridges over the Rospuda and one main bridge over the Szczeberka, along with four smaller footbridges suitable only for infantry movement. The main bridge over the Szczeberka is a critical choke point. It is the only crossing capable of supporting our armored forces. Our operation begins by securing the northern bank of the Rospuda, establishing a stable line. From there, we push Russian forces out of Rachki neighboring area and ensure control over the gap.
All right, you got it. So a little bit of like a European escalation intro. There's a little cheese here and obviously some AI voice acting. But again, there's a lot of pieces here that, if they're done well, will be quite good. Now, this plays quite a bit differently than European escalation, airland battle, maybe even Broken Arrow. In a way, there is a deployment phase, so we have points to be able to deploy in these zones. Then we can start capturing zones. In addition to getting us supplies, we can also use them as additional call-in zones for reinforcements. So regardless of the scenario, the objective is pretty much the same. You know, take all the territory before the enemy does, and if they hold it, you take it from them. We have Alpha here, and there's a lot of other locations, but the maps don't look too bad, honestly. It, again, is very much European escalation, where it's kind of a smaller, almost like literally a map, like we're playing on like a 3D map. As we're in Broken Arrow, they do a very good job of, almost like in World in Conflict, where there's a huge skybox for it. But that doesn't really matter too much, because the battle is here, and we have to make sure Poland is safe, and we must secure the highway all the way through, so might be a good spot to start. So at Alpha, if we click on that there, you can see where we can, in this area, deploy some of our units. So we can go ahead and choose some units to deploy, which will be not only the units that we deploy, but also additional deployment trucks. So there's a logistical unit that will come on up, and we can go ahead and select him, I think, around here somewhere. There he is. And then we can go ahead and deploy him and push forward. Now, I think we only get one vehicle at the start, and we also get additional units throughout the battle. So anyway, let's go ahead and start the battle now, and I'll kind of just use this more of an opportunity to explore what's going on. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and deploy this unit here. We can make a deployment zone in this zone. So this is the capture point within the zone. So we'll just go ahead and like jump off the highway there over to the side and start deploying units. So these units kind of remind me of the British Command units from Company of Heroes 2, where these units here will basically build like a little mini base, and then you can deploy things from them. So you can actually capture a zone and then call in reinforcements somewhere, maybe hidden even, and you could upgrade these to a different tier, which again is similar to Company Heroes, where upgrading those would unlock more stuff. We do have some units here, BMP-1s, BWPs, as well as infantry. And there you go, micro UAV squad. We have drones on the battlefield for the first time, at least in a game that I'm seeing and playing for the first time, which is cool. So we're going to go ahead and try to get some units deployed. We'll get, let's see if we can do a combo. It looks like these are a little too expensive for us. So I'll get a couple of vehicles out and a couple of recon squads. We also have electronic warfare at our disposal. When we upgrade our unit here, you can see all the other things that we get. Now, some of these might be tied for the scenario, so just keep in mind that this is not every unit that's available in the game, and currently the game does not have one of those like armories or a way to be able to see everything that's you know, going to be in the game towards the end game. Oh, I like how they've made it so bridges are indestructible by making them kind of like a construction zone or whatnot. Neat.
Unit ready.
Okay, enemies pushing forward, capturing zones too, so we better do the same. Also, there's no difficulty settings for the demo, so the enemy could either be incredibly vicious or a pushover.
Captured the sector.
From what I've learned in the demo, they're pretty vicious, so can we actually load a unit in there? I've also noticed that there doesn't seem to be a hotkey for anything. I've checked the options. I didn't see hotkeys myself, but we do have one thing that's really important here, the ability to break down our armor values for heat and kinetic energy weapons against us. So obviously, you know, each vehicle type and each infantry type will have benefits against the other, and, you know, it's kind of a rock, paper, scissors thing. Obviously, a ATGM not going to be so great against a helicopter, but they can still shoot at it with their rifles. They can still do damage. Okay, let's push our recon forward. Maybe call out some more units as we capture points. We'll get more points to capture more points, if you know what I mean. So we're going to capture Delta at that point. We're going to capture like Bravo and actually 2 points of Bravo here. And then that'll get us some more money, essentially, to call in more units. So let's push forward to Charlie, maybe. Let's go ahead and push left. We'll have these guys push up the center, too. Not a lot of cover here. There's some pretty interesting infantry combat as well. It's very much like how it is in European Escalation, where you'll kind of have your people just move into a building. There's a countdown timer, and then they're in that building. But I don't think there's a way to move them around. We'll see that as we play a little bit more. Man, I really want to get some more units here. Looks like these might be available at Tier 2, so let's go ahead and immediately upgrade if we can. We need 150 intel in order to upgrade. So, yeah, we can gain intel. Looks like we're gaining X number of points every X number of seconds, and it's the same with supply. So, intel is more for unlocking, and supply is more for, like, paying for those things. So one's, like, research points, and the other is, like, actual purchasing. Let's go ahead and try to push upwards. Looks like they're coming straight down the line here.
Critical sector secured.
And we've captured our first sector. Good. All right, and we're capturing the one on the left. Good. Move into that capture point. And yeah, so we're going to, at 150 intel, I think we need to upgrade. It'll mostly be infantry for now. Also notice there's no real music here. I think there might be some music in the game at certain points, but, you know, a lot of this stuff is very much work in progress, so let's go ahead and see if we can capture. So it does remind me of the early game of a European Escalation or any early Eugen Systems game, where a lot of people would just scramble to these capture points with helicopters and then try to find where the enemy was and then just pounce on them. So I think very much this is like trying to capture everything at once with recon and then get out your best units as soon as possible and see if you can catch the enemy off guard. Additionally, we do have artillery and an air-to-ground missile in the right corner, so I guess that could be a drone strike too, like a Hellfire or something coming in, and then our artillery is a very brief but very effective strike on enemy forces. Very good against infantry. That's something you'll definitely want to use. There we go. We have ourselves an enemy vehicle. Looks like a tank.
Secured.
Oh, that's bad. We have a T-72. No, a T-90 it looks like. Yeah, T-90 main battle tank there. Okay, so the Poles don't really have anything to deal with that for the moment. So we're going to pull back and keep an eye on that unit. He is more than likely going to go for that capture zone. So let's go ahead and see if we can pull back and go this way. I don't know if he'll be able to see us if he goes in there. I'm not sure what its line of sight will be. If we hit Charlie, we can actually see our own kind of line of sight, though, although it doesn't reveal all enemies on the scene. Man, they're pushing hard. These guys are, of course, invading, so we're going to be kind of hard-pressed for being able to hold them back until we unlock more intel.
Enemy captured the sector.
And there's not much we can do against tanks until we get ATGMs. Let's go ahead and try to keep an eye on that tank. They might actually just immediately move. And they are. Okay, they're... Oh, yep, T-72 is heading right towards the other capture zone. Man, they're just rolling right through. Infantry's heading towards Charlie. Okay, we're going to try to reinforce Charlie and see if we can hold them back. Our infantry would be very good here if they had better transports. See if we can stop that vehicle in its tracks.
Unit ready.
There's not much we're going to be able to do against these tanks. Yep.
Recon unit lost.
Instantly destroyed.
Critical sector.
Now, also, one of our units deploy
Recon unit lost.
like only one at a time. So every time that we deploy, we're only able to deploy one unit. We've almost got enough intel, though, to push back and really try to fight the great number of enemies coming our way, and a good amount of supply in order to cover that, too. Gonna go ahead and see if we can maybe team up against that force on the right. Actually, let's go ahead and block the bridge. This is kind of cool. This reminds me of some of the early Wargame Red Dragon missions where you're greatly outnumbered by the North Koreans and there's really not much you can do other than let them take the map, and then you got to start fighting back. They've got a tremendous amount of vehicles out there. Looks like BMPs, BTRs, those T-90s we saw, infantry around. There's probably another T-90 there. It's a T-90 again, yep. Cannon and machine gun, and at least it does break down some of this information about it. Okay, let's go ahead and continue to deploy these units. 149. Now, once we have enough intel, we're going to have to pay an unlock cost, and it will take a little time to upgrade, too. So,
Enemy spotted.
that's coming in every 8 seconds, was it? Oh, plus 12 is what we're gaining now. So every sector
Unit
does get us a little bit more. Oh, and our units are being stressed, too. Pressed and stressed. Okay, if we go to that tier 2, we will unlock BMPs, anti-tank squads, mortar squads, mini UAV squads again. Looks like electronic warfare vehicle. And then when we hit tier 3, we will have T-72s, Mi-24s. Not great. Still not great even when we get to tier 3. So we're going to have to fight against them as best we can. But honestly, there's just a ton of potential for this to almost be a new favorite of mine, just like Regiments. Regiments does, in its own way, play very differently, too, with a campaign that is a little bit more linear, but still has some feels like it has dynamic elements to it of how units and like squads survive after battle and take veterancy with them, and can be, as you remember, like in War Game, be repaired, where you spend points to then refit them and rearm them. And I hope this game kind of gets more of those elements too. Okay, there we go. So now we got BMP ones. Oh, nice. Oh yeah, well, let's get that expensive boy out. Okay, so now I'm buying vehicles. And linking those with infantry. So if we click on a vehicle and then click on an infantry squad, we can get that. And we're going to go ahead and try to deploy those. Oh, we can also rally. Nice. Okay, so we can have them rally in the tree line.
Enemy spotted in critical sector.
And we do need to deploy another supply truck in order to deploy our guys wherever the hell we need them. So another great thing is that we can take one of these trucks and make a deployment point on our own. So in other games, you know, there's a particular spot where reinforcements will arrive from.
Unit retreating.
And here you can kind of make your own. All right, we need to unload. They're immediately surrounding us. Nope, unload right there. Can we use smoke? Smoke 3.
Unit retreating.
Oh, enemy helicopter. Well, that's bad. That is bad.
IFV unit lost. Enemy spotted.
This is actually quite delightful. The enemy is very powerful and reacts very quickly to what we're doing. This is very cool. Now, another thing I want to point out, too, is some of the vehicle models, even when they're damaged, are quite good as well. Although infantry, when they're walking around, yeah, they'll be like kind of in march formation all the time. Now, again, remember, this is a demo, so everybody will be in these very tight, like, marching formations, even when they're in combat.
Unit retreating.
And but the vehicles look, you know, fairly decent. It's not the best I've ever seen, but honestly, when I'm playing a game like this, I'm usually fairly zoomed out just looking at their vehicle icons. But again, this is very much like, you know, playing in West Germany in the early days of the European escalation campaigns, where the enemy will roll right over you. But clearly, they're going to win this one, as we have a lack of a lot of stuff. So in this next time, let's go ahead and try to win. We'll pick a different campaign just to see what the missions are like, and then we'll try to go for a big dub. Let's do it. All right, now this is more my kind of a mission. The previous one was almost exactly the same, where the enemy had broken through friendly lines and was, you know, plowing down the highway. But here, they're trying to cross these very strategic bridges, and this also reminds me of some of the urban fighting that we get to often see in Broken Arrow. Let's go ahead and set a deployment point then for our vehicles, and I think we're going to do that around center ABC, like maybe right in the middle of the map there would be a good spot for that.
Ready.
Let's go ahead and get that unit ready and deployed. There we go. We'll create the deployment zone right around this building here. There we go. And I think we might be able to get more trucks too. Yep, so we got another one ready to go. And we'll select him and put him over maybe on this far right flank here by the hospital. Oh, that's nice. They also mark strategic buildings like the hospital, barracks, maybe other large government buildings. Oh, and there's a large church there too, it looks like. Cool. Okay, let's go ahead and plop down maybe here at what looks to be a school. It looks like a gymnasium there or something, but we'll plop down there as well. Okay, so now the deployment phase is done for our initial deployment points where we can spawn things in. We're going to need AT ASAP, so we need to get that intel going. So I think it'd be best to try to get some of these light recon vehicles out and deployed too. Which I wonder if we can deploy these in the circle too. I mean outside the circle, not just in. So if I right click here, there we go. Okay, so we can do it anywhere inside the zone that the vehicle is in. So I don't think we can do there. Yeah, okay, but we can give orders ahead of time in order to push forward and capture. So that's cool. So I'm going to get a bunch of recon deployed. And now this is what's really fun about demos like this, is once you learn the basics, goodbye to your entire afternoon. Because once you got the you know, day one stuff kind of started, now you want to start figuring out how everything can be mastered and what makes this game different than the others you played. This is very satisfying. I'm going to go ahead and get a bunch of infantry. I think actually we should get infantry out on the front lines.
Unit ready. Unit ready.
There we go.
Ready.
We only have a few of them though. Okay, tech yes. Tech. Let's see. We're about to say Shindobre to the enemy very soon here. Let's get our forces maybe ready to go up this way too. Kind of a little more challenging to move a unit once you've got them selected. Oh, you just right click where you want them. Okay. I'm so used to like dragging. There we go. That's the way to do it. We still have assets in the lower right corner too. Looks like every map gives us the off-map artillery and the drone strike. And what do we have for points? 960. And so I'd like to call out some infantry support left side.
Unit ready. Unit ready.
And some infantry right side.
Unit ready.
Try to start capturing these very important buildings.
Unit ready. Unit ready.
And we mostly want to use the infantry's recon to be able to see where the enemy is. I'm also going to try to get some electronic warfare units out. They're almost like super recon in a way.
Unit ready.
And I'm going to get another group to go far left.
Unit ready.
And then also... Oh, and I could put these troops inside these transports as well, I think, but I want to try to get them...
Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready.
Oh, look at our drone strike units. Okay, this is cool. We're going to try those drones as well. See if we can get the enemy in the drone zone. All right, let's start the battle, see what happens. Just going to go ahead and push everything up. Okay, let's get the recon in the building there. I believe we can have a mix of units there. Yeah, so the larger the building, of course, multiple squads you can have. Some of them are one, some of them are multiple squads. And we need to get that intel going ASAP for the tier 2 equipment right away. Alright, the enemy has launched their full-scale invasion. Poland is not yet lost.
The critical sector.
Okay, I got these drone units too we wanted to bring up. They are okay. Ooh. Things are exploding. Cannons and whatnot firing. T-90 on the main road again.
Unit retreating.
Squad's getting the hell out of there. Alright, they're going fast move down the main road. Looks like they're already trying to hit our recon. They got an air unit up.
Unit retreating.
They got their own recon up too.
Sector secured.
We don't have any anti-air, but we're going with the intel. This is going to be a great game, I think. These missions and campaigns are going to be very, very fun, and we'll have to see how multiplayer would play out. I have no idea how they would go about doing that. Is that a grenade launcher? No, it's a LMG there.
Electronic warfare unit lost.
Get more of our drones up here. I'm not sure if the drones have the capability of attacking. I was expecting them mostly to be a recon unit, but they may have the ability to drop little bombs or something like that, maybe. Micro UAV.
Unit retreating. Infantry unit lost.
Okay, our unit in the middle is upgraded. Oh boy, it's getting rough out there for the boys. Okay, we're going to try to get some anti-tank, anti-aircraft units going.
Enemy unit destroyed.
Well, the good news is, even though we're taking quite a few losses, we are holding them across the river, which is limiting their ability to spread out and be a pain in the ass.
Infantry unit lost. Unit ready. Infantry unit lost.
Okay, they're cutting through infantry pretty quick, but now they have to deal with our advanced infantry.
Enemy captured the sector.
Okay, more infantry is deploying. Going to deploy all the infantry we have on the right and try to hold these buildings around the hospital.
Unit ready.
And get our right side
Recon
upgraded
unit lost.
for anti-air.
Gotowi do akcji. Oddział w gotowości.
Unit
Oh,
retreating.
damn, they were supposed to drop that unit off the AT unit. Let's go ahead and try it over here.
Działamy. Czekam na rozkazy.
Enemy captured the sector.
Recon unit in the parking lot. They should be in the building.
Czekamy na polecenia. Rozkazy?
Okay, let's capture these sectors since we're close.
Zrozumiano. Zgłaszam się. Czekamy na polecenia. Działamy. Rozkazy? Wykonuję rozkaz.
Retreating.
Okay, we have helicopters in the middle.
Ready.
There's our anti-aircraft
Enemy
loaded up.
artillery incoming. Unit ready. Unit retreating. IFV unit lost. Sector secured. Enemy captured the sector. Sector secured.
Okay, we're gonna get a lot more
Enemy artillery incoming.
Oh, they're firing at our commander area. Remove deployment zone.
Unit
Go.
retreating. Enemy unit
Czekamy na
destroyed.
polecenia. Rozkazy? Działamy. Tak jest.
Sneaky, sneaky.
Oddział w gotowości.
That's very good stuff, man. I'm thoroughly impressed with how the enemy is able to deploy so much stuff and move around very quickly. It's quite a high difficulty, especially for somebody who's played a lot of like Broken Arrow and stuff like that. I think what we really need here is more. It's mostly coming down to the hotkeys, like having to look for how to unload and stuff. And I'm clicking U. There's probably obviously a hotkey for that, but that is what you're going to need here. And I don't see a way to slow down time. There is. Okay, you can actually slow things way down. I would definitely recommend playing on that
Enemy
slower
artillery
speed like that,
incoming.
and especially if we find enemy units and whatnot, it does help to be able to find your other units, because I don't think anything can be saved to a yeah, I can't like control one and save units to a oh, I can. Okay, I just can't do that with our command unit, which would the deployment zone would be a way easier way to tap 1 and 2 and like
Infantry
call
unit
out and manage
lost.
your units quickly. But this looks good regardless of the gameplay. I mean, I want to just take a look at all the details here of the game itself. Where's that Fiat? Where's that Polish Fiat? Show it to me. Anyway, a lot of great accurate cars here, a lot of wonderful looking buildings that, you know, relatively look accurate with play sets and some other detail to them. So the dev makers did put in some great work with putting out trash cans, fences, street lights, other types of bollards, fences, different types of you know, like walls made of stone, what looks to be maybe like a substation there or something like that. So industrial buildings, residential buildings, and then I also really appreciate the attention to detail of putting in things like universities and having those be main objectives, just like the hospital too, and other facilities that would be important for both us and the enemy, as well as you may have seen in the briefing, these different kind of custom
Infantry
bridges.
unit lost.
And I don't think there's a way to destroy
Unit
these. The
retreating.
objective
Enemy
overall is just
artillery incoming.
to hold them, but you got footbridges that are just for infantry, so that makes a unique
Electronic warfare unit
experience
lost.
too, where infantry versus infantry in an area, just like you would in Company Heroes. There's areas where, you know, it's like an infantry only bridge. Definitely brings a lot of uniqueness to it. But the bridges all look pretty damn good.
Enemy
It's like a
captured
city
the
you'd make in
sector.
City Skylines, and I say that about Broken Arrow as well. But this definitely looks like yet another city builder on top of that, with, you know, some good attention to detail for damage. Although this looks like it's made of wood. Yeah, there's some big ass trees in there, but overall, very good stuff, right? Now we'll have to see how this all comes together. Will it have multiplayer? Will it have a campaign that kind of goes into, you know, like more
Enemy
detailed
captured the
scenarios with
sector.
cutscenes? Of course, they have a lot of written text and commanders you can have in that dynamic mode. But these individual like skirmish missions show a hell of a lot of promise. It's very cool that there's like military facilities on the screen too, and that you know, like the enemy would be striking that, like they'd be going towards a training center or like a military barracks or whatnot to try to cut off the enemy at the heart. And the enemy is very slowly in my time there capturing the position, but this seems like a much more like winnable scenario and situation. So enemy very tough, but even more tough is you know, like the lack of certain things that, I don't know, maybe they're there and we have time to learn over time. But a very cluttered UI, which I honestly come to expect for a game like this, and lots of intel based on line of sight.
Zgłaszam się.
units characteristics, armor. I actually do believe that these units here should show you what their weapons are, but they don't. Oh, they do. Yeah, okay. So if you hover over their weapons, you even get a breakdown of what their range is, maybe penetration, damage, and then of course armors too of
Enemy
certain
captured the
vehicles, like
sector.
this vehicle here, which has no real armor at all. But a great mix of a lot of stuff that I truly like, and this one's one to keep an eye on for sure. Wow, there's a lot to this one, man. Systemic War is certainly one you should try on the Steam Next Fest. I hope they keep this demo up for a while. This definitely has things in it that I really liked about regiments, and it feels like very much its own thing too, and probably the most modern of, you know, like the most, let's just say, realistic, like to real world situations simulator that I played so far. And I like the scale of it as well. It's a much more intimate scale for these current missions, but certainly has the potential to be a lot more. So add it to your wish list, support the devs, give some good feedback. Let's make another great RTS game. Bro, Broken Arrow was supposed to be like the RTS game of all time, and that you can't even save in the middle of a mission. And like we're what, 6-8 months in now of that? I mean, come on, let's get a hand in, you know? Let's keep making these games better, damn it. And I hope this video made your day better too. So let me know if you downloaded it, let me know what you think, and I'll see you all next time for more Systemic War. Take care and goodbye.